In an era of growing political stakes and mounting consequences, where do people with no stakes or consequences go to be told what to believe? The answer? The totally apathetic and unbiased neutral radio show, unrelentingly committed to our goal of providing much-needed balance and neutrality to every issue. The totally apathetic and unbiased neutral radio show vows to bring a new perspective to issues you thought were cut and dry. Were the Nazis really that bad? Is killing babies really that bad? Is killing Nazi babies really that bad? Is Michael Jackson a Nazi? Baby, he wrote bad. All of these questions and more will be answered bi-weekly in front of a live audience on the totally apathetic and unbiased neutral radio show. My name is Liam Lethargy, and I have so little stakes and interest in every issue that I'm willing to reluctantly ask the questions other people simply are not. Today's question, women. The answer, I don't know. I'm not a woman. The person who will be discussing this question, also not a woman, but he wrote a book about them. That makes him an expert. Please, totally live and unbiased audience, join me in welcoming controversial doctor, author, father, doctor, family man, doctor, fisherman, and evolutionary psychologist, Dr. Jordan B. Peterpan.
Thank you so much for having me here today. I am so bloody glad to be able to be here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you.
Questions my university students ask me very often is, what, Professor, why do you do what you do? And that's a bloody complicated and profound question.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to interrupt you right there. We have some pre-written questions, so if we can get that out of the way.
Absolutely, I don't mind, but I tend to go on these tangents quite often, and it reminds me of a story I actually told to one of my students. And so one of the things I told him
sorry,
was
doctor. I need to interrupt you right there. I'm sorry, we won't get through this interview if you keep on going on these tangents. I need to ask you some questions, and then we can talk about this all you like. So, my first question: in your book, 12 Rules for Why. Are you crying, Doctor?
I'm not crying. Sorry.
Really funny.
I'm not crying. You just spoke to me quite loud and disrespectfully, and that kind of hurt my feelings. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. No, that's completely my fault. I was a bit too loud.
No, it's not your fault. It's not
your fault. It's
my fault. It's always my fault.
Hey,
it's always my fault.
Excuse me, sorry.
It's always Jordan can't do it.
Stop, please, Jordan. Calm down. We've taken a short 3-hour break, but we're back. And Jordan B. Peterpan is ready to answer some questions. Isn't that right, Jordan?
Yeah, that's right. I'm ready for anything. Throw it at me. I'm ready.
Okay, cool. So today's topic is about women, and your book, 12 Rules for Wives, is about women. So can you please explain, this central concept of your book to the viewers and how it relates to this topic?
Well, thank you very much, Liam, for that question. That's a really good, profound question. So my book, 12 Rules for Wives, what it's really addressing is the radical feminist postmodern neo-Marxists, okay?
Yeah.
And what their agenda is, when the radical leftist agenda,
right?
They basically want us to not have wives anymore, which, as you would understand, is really problematic, because lobsters have really close prefrontal cortexes to us, and they have a lot of serotonin, and they form dominance hierarchies. But what we found in these lobsters, and it's really quite an evolutionary feat, is that these lobsters actually mate using husbands and wives, and it's really quite a complex phenomenon. And so what happens if we don't have any wives?
I understand that point, I guess, but you can still have humanity without, I agree with you in principle, but you can still have humanity without necessarily having husbands and wives, you can still reproduce.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
other ways.
Are you talking about these radical, the radical test tube babies? Is that what you're talking? You want our babies to be grown in test tubes? Is that what you want?
No.
Is that what you want? Really? Come on.
What I'm suggesting at all. What?
Come on. That's not right. Okay, that's not.
Sorry,
come on.
Sorry,
come on.
Jordan Peterpan.
That's not
Sorry.
right.
Sorry, I had to interrupt you again. I didn't mention anything about test tube babies. I was simply talking about the fact that humans can reproduce without having, without husbands and wives. I mean, just because, lobsters can do that as well. I don't even know if they have the concept of husband, and wives.
Okay, you can stop talking now. Sorry about that. Sorry. Oh, but listen. Okay, if I've misrepresented you in any way, please tell me. But what I'm hearing from what you're saying is what seems to be a wholesale endorsement of test tube babies, and obviously that comes with some serious moral questions.
Not at all. That's not at all what I'm suggesting. Basically what I'm trying to say is that animals and humans can reproduce without having husbands and wives. I mean, maybe husbands and they're not the same as male and female. You see what I'm trying to say? It's just a bit of nuance. It doesn't really matter.
It does matter.
Use it interchangeably.
It does. No, stop. It does matter. Language matters. Okay. And what I heard from you right here is you rejecting science. You just rejected science because you said was that husbands and wives is not biological.
Exactly. Yes.
You're saying it's not biological, and that's a rejection of science. I know the difference between male and female and husbands and wives.
Actually, so.
And they're both biological terms that you can't change. Okay, you can't change that. It's complicated.
Peterpan.
You can't change that.
They're not the concepts of husband and wife as it pertains to marriage is an exclusively human abstraction.
Well, it may be an abstraction to you, a radical feminist postmodern neo-Marxist, but to me, a scientist, I believe that you can't change husbands and wives. It's just biological. That's how they reproduce. So right now, you're actually rejecting biology, which is a really serious thing to do.
Sorry. I'm going to be quite polite. I don't want to offend you. I just how do you think animals and humans? How do you think they reproduce? I want to understand your perspective.
That's a really good question. Thank you, Liam. Thank you for keeping this conversation really civil. Okay, I'll answer that question. Husbands and wives, what they do when they want to have a baby is they get married. And, usually between 1 year and 9 months or whatever else, you'll have a baby come out. And that's actually how the babies are born, And that's a really important part of kind of humanity and all life on this planet. Okay. It's really beautiful,
right, yeah.
Actually.
It's beautiful. So I just want to, what do you think happens between those 1 year or whatever when a couple gets married? What do you think actually causes the birth of a new human being?
You got
what's your
presuppositions in that question, don't you? But I'll try and answer it nonetheless. Okay. Well, what happens is they get married, and then the baby is born. And it's kind of like when they're really in love with each other. That's how the baby gets born.
Yep. Sorry. Once again. Okay. So what we've established, they get married, and then they get really in love, and then a baby is born. But what do you think happens in between all that?
Well, if they love each other very much, from my research, what happens is a baby gets born. That's kind of how it works. It's kind of scientific in a way.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna just Jordan Peterpan. Do you have any children? Do you have any children, Jordan?
Yeah, yes, I do. I have a very beautiful young girl. She's about 8 now, actually. She's very young.
Okay, brilliant. What did you do with your wife or spouse or whatever else to get her pregnant? How to get your baby?
Well, that's a really good question because I don't really see her that much because I'm always busy, but on the road, attending these lectures, these interviews. But basically, we got married, and before I knew it, she was pregnant. It was crazy. It actually took only a couple of months, like 2 or something. It was quite quick. We were quite fortunate for that reason.
You said enough. I'm done. Sorry. So why do we have this guy? Why is he in our studio? Why is he? We're back. After a little break, doesn't matter how long. Jordan Peterpan. I got. You know what? We'll keep this interview quick. I have one more question for you. 1 out of 2. We've only got 2 questions. Thank you. Okay, my question is very, very simple. Very simple. You talk a lot about women in your book. Your audience is predominantly young teenage women. I want to know who is your favorite male inspiration, influence, idol, whatever mold fits you best.
Well,
which one is it? Who is it?
Well, thank you for that question. That's actually a really complicated question.
No, it isn't really. But
okay, so the way I would answer that is, and I guess he's a little bit more than a inspiration for me. He may actually be kind of a mentor in a way, and that's Carl Jung. He's kind of like he's been a mentor for me, actually.
Wow, that's actually a pretty interesting answer because, Carl Jung died quite a while ago. I guess you must have known him before he died. So.
Oh, well, not really. I've kind of known him. I still know him. He's still my mentor, That's kind of how it is.
What do you mean he's still your mentor? He's dead. You know that, right? He's probably been dead for like 50 years now or something. Surely he's dead, right? Carl Jung is dead, right?
Oh yes, of course. That's quite obvious, right? But what I'm talking about is really an instantiation of him, or actually, I should probably call it maybe an apparition, or a how would you describe it?
Are you saying he's a ghost?
Exactly. That's the perfect term for it. He's a ghost, and he's been able to mentor me.
A ghost. He's been able to mentor you. A ghost. Been able to mentor you. Okay. How has he, Carl Jung, the historical psychologist, been able to mentor you as a... Please explain, please.
Well, it's a really complicated question, and, there's not really an easy answer for that.
No, it doesn't have to be complicated. Can you just answer one bloody question straight? Just answer the question. How is a ghost mentoring you? How is a dead historical person mentoring you? Please, I'm losing my mind with you. I'm going crazy. You're not making any sense, Jordan Peterpan. You're not making any sense. Why is he crying?
Broke the promise.
Which one of you bastards is behind this? Which one of you bastards is behind this? Which one of you bastards? Where are you? Where are you? You bastards. I know you are responsible for this. I will find you and I will stab the shit out of you. I'm going crazy.
Danger.
You!
No,
Jordan Peterpan, you tell me right now. You tell me who's responsible for this. Who is doing this to me? Where is this tomfoolery coming from? Why? Why me? Why am I being chosen? Who's behind it?
Who's behind the Jordan Peterpan? Am I going crazy? I'm not crazy. I'm rational. I'm unbiased. I'm apathetic. I don't care about all of this, but I want to know who is behind this. You tell me right now.
Don't say anything.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You're gonna tell me everything you know. You're gonna tell me who's screwing with me here. If you don't, I chop your head off right here. Broad daylight in front of an entire audience. Your head goes right off. You understand?
I understand.
Now tell me. Show me. Who is this?
I'll show you.
Carl Jung ghost you're talking about.
I'll show you right now. Jordan Peterson is feeling a bit sleepy.
No, don't fall! I didn't need you anyway. I didn't need any of you. None of you, audience. I don't need you. I just need one man. Or ghost. Carl Jung. Where are you? You're not a thinker, are you? You're not an INTP. I'm a thinker. I'm the rational one. I think. I think about politics.
Hello there, how you doing? My name's Carl Jung.
hell's that noise?
I'm not sure why you've called me here. I'm not sure at all. I'm actually not
How'd
a
you
ghost.
get here?
I'm not. He's a bit loose in the head. What I am is, I suppose you could say, well, they put my brain in a new body. It's basically what's happened. It's a bit complicated. It's a bit kind of like test tube babies, you know. That's how most babies are born now. Well, yes, I'm here. You've called me. What's the problem?
You're a little bastard tricking me right now. You're a British boy, aren't you? You're not Carl Jung. I know what Carl is. He's like German or something. He speaks with a German accent.
No, I'm actually definitely Carl Jung. Definitely. Well, last time I checked. Oh yeah, well, I've got the same brain. Same brain. It's been a while, actually. It's been a while. I was not dead. They got my brain and they put it in another person. Fortunately, with the same personality, but with a British accent. It's a bit, you know.
I don't believe.
You win some, you lose some. Right. Why are you here?
I don't believe you for 1 minute. You think I'm gonna believe someone put Carl Jung's brain in like another man's body? That's weird, and that's not real, like not real life, because I'm rational, and I think, and I'm neutral. But I'm angry right now. I could kill you, but I want to see you put your brain in my body. How about that? Huh? How about that? How about try that on for size, you little bitch. Sorry for swearing.
Gladly. Sure thing. I don't mind. Really, I don't mind. Just come over here. Oh, I'll come over there. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. Don't mind. You want to... Love, would you mind putting your shirt on so when I do go into your body, I
Don't tell me what to do. I'll put my shirt on.
Okay, here we go. Here goes nothing. Just open that. Don't struggle. That's a bit...
Get off me.
You're a bit guilty. There we go. Right. Put that in a jar, shall we? Can you lock that up, love? Sorry. Can you put that away? Jeez. Right. Okay, 1 sec. Here we go.
This feels weird. This feels really weird. What am I doing in this body? Well, this is very weird, bizarre, and awkward. But I guess now that I'm him, I can finish the show off. Thank you for attending his Jordan Peterpan. My Jordan Peterpan interview. It's been a pleasure. Getting to know the two of you. I'd like to end this show with a quote from Solzhenitsyn. Alexander Solzhenitsyn once said, "If you're not neutral, what are you doing being neutral?" And that's all we have time for today. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. What's it called? The Totally Apathetic and Neutral Radio Show.
And as always, neutralize you later, y'all.